My name is Rachael Harris. I graduated from UWM in December of 2018, and I currently work as an assistant account executive at DSplus. Yeah, so originally, just full transparency, it was not at all on my radar. I took a class because it satisfied a different coursework, which I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the instructor, who's Ermit. I'm sure you guys are familiar with her. She's amazing. And so I really enjoyed it, and I decided to commit to African and African Diaspora Studies as my course. I think it's like 12 credits outside of your like core coursework. And then again, just like enjoyed every part of it. And so then I decided to like truly commit, because I saw like so much value in what I was learning, and not just like on a personal level, but also like how that would benefit my career working in like media, advertising, public relations. And it really was like the highlight of my time at UWM. And you know, my experience was just overwhelmingly positive. Like I said, I enjoyed all the coursework that I did, the instructors that I had. I intentionally tried to take every single one of Ermit's classes that I could, just because I enjoyed her so much as an instructor. And I think some of the positive, like more positive things I would say is that obviously some of the coursework can have like very sensitive topics, and with a very diverse group of people in the room with different, you know, lived experiences and opinions, I found that all of my instructors in the African Diaspora Studies department really did such a good job of encouraging respectful discourse, so that we could all learn from each other. And I think that that was also like one of my key takeaways and one of the benefits. You know, when you have a major in college, like you probably tend to see some of the same people, you're learning the same content or like the same ideas that are sort of floating around. And so this is just so different. So, you know, naturally, like inherently, the people in the room are so different. Their experiences, their thought process were so different from just all the other courses that I was taking, you know, for my education. And so I just found that to be also like one of the most valuable things that I took away from the experience. And yeah, and like I said, just the instructors were just phenomenal in like really encouraging that like open and respectful discourse, and like just putting the emphasis on people learning and growing from the courses instead of like if anything being like so black and white. There's obviously like so much nuance that goes into it. So I began my career at a different agency in paid media, working on the investment side, and which was great, a good experience, but it really made me want to sort of shift into the more client-facing roles within the media world. And so AADS has like helped my career because, like I said, first and foremost, like just learning to like have an open, respectful discourse with people who are so different, their opinions are so different. I think that's just instrumental in your professional career in any industry, right? Like you're going to have to work with people who are different from you. You're going to have to work with people who have different experiences, whether that's professional, educational, personal, what have you. And so I think, again, that was so important to me and something that was like such a key takeaway. But also, you know, digging into the department itself and like the coursework and really the whole point of it, it just gives like so much historical context into things that we don't typically learn like in traditional history courses, you know. And so having that background is so important, especially working in like media and advertising and PR, because those materials, you know, marketing materials, advertising, are typically a product of the people creating them. And that's problematic because there's not usually a lot of diversity in the room. And so having this different perspective and understanding these historical nuances and you know, concepts of like how we got to where we are today in the United States and globally, I think that has like really helped me, because the point of media, the point of advertising is not to make something that looks like the people who are making it, but to create something that resonates with your audience, right? And everyone, you know, like, it's not just people who look a certain way or worship a certain way, right? Like, there are people across the spectrum that are part of that audience. And so I think that it's really important that I have that context, and then also like just understanding things on a more nuanced level of like, what is underrepresentation, what's misrepresentation. You know, every year we see something that was probably not ill-intended, but was offensive because there's not someone, you know, who's sitting at the table or like helping make those decisions that has that background. And that's not to say that, you know, I'm the end all be all or I know everything. I think that my opinion would never like trump any other person's like lived experience who looks different than me. But I think it is beneficial to have people and having that understanding as just like a baseline. And I just can't stress enough how important it is that media be diverse and representative, especially as it becomes like a larger part of our everyday life. Yeah, so it really varies. I'm in a bit of a hybrid role, helping our internal project management team along with the external client facing stuff, but I help write, or I do write, all of the creative briefs for all of the like email content that we push out on behalf of our automotive clients, and sort of like build that direction for the creative team. I also then review it, QA it, make sure that it gets sent through proof, product, and legal. Everything is like compliant. And then day to day, like client tasks, having meetings with them, going over performance, ensuring that, you know, our program is working for them. And that's, I would say that's like a pretty typical day-to-day task. I find most challenging is probably just time management, because there's, you know, so much to do in such little time. And then also just ensuring that all of the stakeholders are satisfied with, you know, what the content says, what it looks like, and, you know, ensuring that we're like hitting all the marks for everyone. And what I find most enjoyable, I would say, the creative side, like really being able to put in that creative direction for like all of the content that we push out on a monthly basis. So I would say if you're considering it, to just take the jump and do it. I think, you know, like I just cannot express like the value that I found in it, not just on a professional level, but on a personal level, and just how much I've learned and like learned about myself and things that, you know, I never knew just through the coursework. But I guess on like a more practical level, just take a course that maybe satisfies another credit. So you're not, you know, I know that like college is very expensive, and like ensuring that everything that you're taking is beneficial for the graduation time. And I know for some people that is very important for them to stay on that trajectory. That was kind of my thought process at first. I was like, I just need to graduate. I don't even care. But just take a course, you know, and that's how, like I said, that's how I got into my minor. It was just like, oh, I'm just going to take this course. It satisfies this credit, and then just continue to build on like how much I really enjoyed the coursework. I would say, gosh, like what a great question. Like really dig into the content, ask a lot of questions. Don't be shy. I know, like I said, like some of the content can be very sensitive, but you know, that's why you're there. You're there to learn. You know, that's the instructor. That's their goal, is for you to ultimately learn the objectives of whatever, you know, respective course you're taking. And so like dig in, ask questions, do the work. Don't just, you know, skirt by, like really do the work. And yeah, just embrace it as much as you can, because like I said, it's just so valuable. If you can take any of AirMeet's classes, no, all the instructors that I had were great. I took online classes, in-person classes, night classes. Like I took, you know, I ran the gamut and the types of courses that you can take. And yeah, I you know, like I said, a little biased. I just really enjoyed her as an instructor. She was so knowledgeable, so helpful, so kind, so understanding about missing class or turning stuff in late, which I know is probably not something that instructors want to be known for. But I think, you know, everyone's college experience is different. Like personally, I worked a full-time job, did an internship, and was a full-time student. So, you know, my time, I was just stretched so thin, and she was like so empathetic and so understanding. And like, I just can't stress enough how much I learned from her courses.